Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I'm Grace. Thank you for being here for our hip opener flow. We're on week 3 and our focus is pratyahara, which is the inner aliveness. We're working through Patanjali's 8 limbs. We're going to be reviewing them. There's a lesson on them this week. We're on Astya, which is the 3rd yama. So in a quick review with the 8 limbs, we have the yamas is limb 1, niyamas is limb 2, and these are the precepts, and we'll go into those. So then limb 3 is asana, the body, the poses, the postures. We start at that doorway. And limb 4 is pranayama, breath, aliveness, the pranamaya kosha, when we're working with the energy body. And then limb 5 is pratyahara. So we're going a little deeper. We're going inside the body, a little more subtle, more etheric. Even then the prana systems, the energy systems. It also, with pratyahara, we can also connect with the emotional body. Kind of overlaps a little with the manamaya kosha, where we're really able to feel sensations, emotions, and let those emotional charges and the sensations kind of just be felt, fully felt, and notice that there is an energy, a power, an aliveness, a dynamic life force energy within us, within the body, That is the focus, is withdrawing from the external and diving in to really pay attention and bring your awareness to what is going on inside you energetically. And then we move into dharana and dharana, single point of focus, concentration, dhyana, meditation, and then we move into samadhi, which is pure conscious awareness, the ultimate goal of yoga. So that's our review on the 8 limbs, and we're going to Astya is our 3rd limb, non-stealing, non-coveting. So we're not craving, and we're not. It goes with, we're not going to rob anybody, of course, hopefully not. But we're not going to take that which is not ours. So it could even apply to intellectual information. It can apply to time. It can apply to energy. Only taking what is our own and not stealing or exploiting. That is our focus. In pratyahara, we're going to talk about that a lot all week. That's our focus. So let's begin finding a nice, comfortable position, feeling those sits bones nice and comfortably on the earth. And remembering this is your time for you. This is your time to bring your attention and your energy and your focus into your own being, into your own aliveness. Bring in your self-love. This is the time for you to love yourself and connect deeply with yourself. Taking a moment to breathe, find a little breath awareness. Dropping that breath right down to the belly, abdominal breathing, belly breathing. Let's invite a couple 3-part yogic breaths, inhaling into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Pausing at the very top of the breath for just a moment as you engage the bandhas and release. A couple more 3-part yogic breaths. Present in the body, this time for you. Scanning the physical body, noticing any sensations. Just noticing where you're at. No judgment. Just noticing. And moving into the prana, the energy body, the pranamaya kosha, noticing your energy. Now moving to pratyahara, noticing the inner aliveness within you. You may feel some pulsing. You may feel the pulsation of the heart. You may feel warmth or cool or tingling, energy moving, pulsing, vibrating. And also checking in with the emotional body with no judgment, just noticing what's arising without needing to chase any emotions away. We're going to simply lean in and feel fully and let them to arise and fall as they always do, always ever changing emotions. Feeling, not describing or labeling or titling, just feeling whatever is arising fully. And taking this moment now to set an intention for yourself. Stating it to yourself or out loud if you like, in the positive and the present tense. And then taking a moment to feel the emotions and see yourself in this intention fully manifested here now. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And let's begin to just move the body gently, warming up. Some circles, side to side. That breath flowing in the belly, in the lower abdomen. Get the shoulders into it, back and forth, up and down, gently with the head. Beginning to move the body, comfortable ways. Beautiful. I'm going to start our hip opener flow with Baddha Konasana butterfly, bringing the soles of the feet together. And wrap those hands around the feet. You can open them up a little bit. Mine kind of naturally open up a little. If you need to, you can open them up. And we'll begin to gently flap these butterfly wings. Imagine you're even just flying like a butterfly. Warming up these hips a little bit before we move into the forward folds. And slowly start to slow down until we come to a stop, and see if you can take those legs and bring them down towards the earth. That's our line of energy. We talked about lines of energy last week. The legs are pressing down towards the earth, and as you inhale, the spine is lengthening and the head is reaching up towards the heavens. So you're feeling two lines of energy. This is pretty common in some poses where the legs are pressing down and the spine and the upper body is reaching up simultaneously. Another nice deep inhale. See if you can lengthen that spine a little more. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge forward. So we're hinging at the hip. We're not yet moving the spinal column, just hinging at the hip. And find that gentle edge where you're feeling a little bit of a stretch, but we're not forcing, we're not striving, we're not pushing ourselves. We're allowing the body to open. And throughout this practice, anytime if you need a break, please feel free to stop and take a break. If you ever reach pain, always back off, honoring your body. And we're playing the edge. So we're not forcing, we're not on the couch eating potato chips either. We're challenging ourselves just enough to allow a gentle opening. And over time, we get more and more and more flexible as we rest on these gentle edges. And on the next inhale coming up, beautiful job. Let's move into a single leg forward fold. So I'm going to take my left leg out, and the right foot is, the sole of the right foot is resting on the inner thigh of my left leg. And beginning to inhale as you lengthen the spine, and exhaling, hinging forward. Again, finding your gentle edge. You're going to be able to go a little deeper because we're only got one leg out. And taking a breath on this edge. And at the bottom of the exhale, see if you can hinge a little deeper. And then if you'd like to round the spine and bring the hands down, you can also use a strap if you'd like. And resting in this pose for a couple breaths. And it's always fun to flex and extend the extended foot, just to enjoy those sensations. And then on your next inhale, coming up. Beautiful job. And we're going to switch legs. My right leg out. I'm going to bend the left leg. The sole of the left foot is resting on the inner thigh of my right leg. And again, inhaling as you lengthen, exhaling, hinge. Find that gentle edge and taking a breath on that edge. The very bottom of your exhale, see if you can hinge a little deeper. And the invitation is, if you'd like to, you can round the spine now. Flex and extend that foot, taking a couple breaths here as you enjoy the sensations. And on the next inhale, coming up. Beautiful job. Let's just bring both feet out and flap them around a little bit. Beautiful job. We're going to move into a hero pose. Where's my block? You can use a block or not. Going to open the knees up a little bit. Can sit on that block, or you can just have the knees closed. And we're going to come down and see if you can scoot those legs so your buttocks is flat on the earth. It's a hero's pose, which helps the knees a little bit. It helps that this is a deep flexion if you can sit on a block. That sacrum right on top of the block. I feel my sits bones on there, and that helps a little bit as we sit in our hero pose. Just taking a few breaths here, enjoying the pose, noticing the inner aliveness. And one more breath. Beautiful. And so you can the buttocks up and remove that block. We're going to move into a Mandukasana. So we're going to take the knees out. And then we're going to take the lower legs out even wider than the knees. And then we're going to take the hips and we're going to bring them back. So you're going to notice the sensation as you move back. And find your edge and then breathe. And one more breath. And moving forward. Beautiful job. Bring those knees back in. Let's take a moment to move into our camel pose. I like to do this on the side so you can see me better. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tuck that tailbone under a little, opening up the lumbar vertebrae. So there's a lot of space in there as we move into our back bend, bringing the hands to the small of the back, right here along the side of the lumbar vertebrae. Inhaling as you lift the chest. This is the heart opener, a back bend, and moving into a nice gentle back bend. I'm going to keep those hips right over the knees. And if you like to come down to the heels, and if you like to bring them, I love to come up onto my toes, makes it a little easier. And then moving those hips back over the knees. And breathe. Heart is open. Head is in alignment with the spine. It's not dropping. One more breath. Beautiful. Coming up. It's always a nice counter pose to move into child's pose from here. You can open those knees, let the belly rest. And on the next inhale, coming up. And let's do our fire log. And often we'll have that while we're in our forward fold. You can bring the legs out nice and wide. I know you thought we were going to get out of this. This is a tough one, but it's a good hip opener. You're going to bend the right leg and line it up with your mat, the front mat if you can, lined up with the mat. And then we're going to take the left leg and we're going to bring the left ankle lining up with the right knee. And then over here, we're going to have the left foot lining up, the left knee lining up with the left, where the left ankle's lining up with the right knee, and the left knee is lining up with the right ankle or the right foot. And we're going to flex those feet, feel that alignment. I have there's a little flexibility issue here in the hips. So sometimes you can put a little cushion or a block in there. I like to kind of just let it, hoping that maybe after another 20 years of yoga, this will be a little less or a little more flexible. There'll be less space here. And you can inhale, lengthening, and exhale, hinging forward, finding your edge. Not going to be able to hinge nearly as much as we do with just a single leg forward fold. And find that gentle edge and just breathe and feel and allow. Feel it in the hips. And one more breath here. On your inhale, coming back up. We're going to release those legs and we're going to move to the other side. I'm going to take this left leg and line that right up with this long edge of the mat. Take the right ankle right on the left knee, and the right knee's right below the left ankle. Feeling that alignment, flexing those feet as much as you can, inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, hinging forward. And breathe. Engage those bandhas too. And one more breath here. And on your next inhale, coming back up. Beautiful job. Release those legs. Let's flop them around, windshield wiper around, releasing and relaxing those legs. Beautiful job. And we're going to move into a malasana, a seated lower squat. This is a nice little squat. If you can get it so that those heels can come down to the earth, there we go. Wonderful. You can bring the hands in Anjali Mudra into prayer pose. You can press those elbows into the legs to feel a nice stretch. You're pressing them away and apart from each other. And breathe. Make sure that buttocks is off the earth, off the floor. And if you do need to be up on those toes, that's okay too. And one more breath. Beautiful job. We're going to come on to the hands and knees. We're going to move into table pose. And move into a couple cat-cows. To keep that spine always moving, always healthy. Making little spontaneous movements in this if you like. And then coming back to center. And we're going to take the left leg and bring that forward. Just moving into some lunge rocks. Lunging forward to begin with, bringing those hips down towards the earth. Just coming that direction. Noticing the sensations, holding that for a couple breaths. Remember, you can put a blanket under your knee if you like. Keeping the breath flowing. And then lunging back, feeling a nice stretch on the left leg. You can flex and extend that left foot, keeping the breath flowing. And continuing to lunge back and forth a couple times. Noticing the sensations. And also paying a little attention to what you're feeling inside in that pratyahara. And then coming back to center, we move into blaster pose. So we're going to take both hands on the inside of that left leg. So bring them over to the right. And then if you like, you can come down onto the forearms. Even deeper hip opening. And breathe. And the next inhale coming up. And from here, we're going to move into pigeon. So we're going to take this front leg, the left leg, and bend that knee. And balancing up. So we're lined up. We're not rolling over onto that left buttocks. We're balancing forward. Take a moment here as you feel some nice hip opening in this right hip as it reaches down towards the earth. And then coming all the way down, if you'd like. Feeling some hip opening on the right side. On the left side. And then on your next inhale, coming back up to the hands, bringing yourself back and moving back into your table pose. I am going to use a little bit of blanket for my knees, especially as we go over to the left side. And then taking that right leg up and moving into some rocks here, lunging forward first, letting that left hip drop down towards the earth and feel that nice stretch and that nice opening, and breathe. And lunging back, Stretch, flexing and extending that front foot, keeping that breath flowing, staying present in the body, the energy body, and keeping that connection to that pratyahara, this inner, what's going on inside. And lunging one more time, forward and back. And make some subtle movements, keeping the breath flowing. And you can lunge back. Then coming back to center, bringing that right hand over to the left, both hands to the left of the right foot, and then coming down to the forearms if you can, if that's in your practice. And breathe. And on the next inhale, coming up. Move into pigeon on this side. So we're going to bend that right leg, balancing, and take that left leg back a little bit and balancing up. But we don't want to roll the buttocks down. We want to be balancing up on our pigeon. Noticing the sensation as you feel that left hip coming towards the floor a little bit. And then if you like to come down a little more. You can be on your forearms. You can stretch the arms out in front of you. On the next inhale, coming up, bringing that leg back. Let's move into child's pose for a couple breaths. Inviting some nice basking in pratyahara, the inner aliveness. Inhaling, coming up. And we're going to come onto our back. Coming down nice and gently. And if you'd like to bring those knees into the chest, and hugging them a little bit. And then bringing the legs down. And I'm going to invite you to just bring the feet in Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the legs to drop down to the earth. Supta Baddha Konasana. There's three different ways we can do this. We're going to do it a little differently again, but this is a nice pose too. You can feel the hip opening here in your hips as you just let the gravity of the legs coming down. Open up those hips gently and breathe. On your next inhale, bringing those knees up. And we're going to move into our, it's called either four or supine pigeon, where we're on our backs in pigeon. And so I'm going to keep this right knee up. I'm going to rest the left ankle just above my right knee and lifting that right foot up, clasping those hands behind the hamstring, the right hamstring, and gently pulling the leg in towards the body and feeling a nice opening on that left hip. And find your gentle edge, engage those bandhas and breathe. Always staying connected to that inner presence. And one more breath here. And releasing that leg. Good job. Let's switch to the other side. The right ankle is resting just above the left knee, lifting that left foot up, clasping the hands behind the left hamstring and gently pulling that leg in. And breathe. Enjoy the sensations. And one more breath here. Beautiful job releasing those legs. Beautiful. And let's take that right leg and extend it all the way out, pressing that right leg towards the earth. This is another one where you have two lines of energy and pulling the left leg in towards the body. And you can open it up and so you don't crunch those ribs. You can be more in toward coming towards the armpit. Feel those two lines of energy and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful. And release the leg and let's switch. So my left leg is going to be pressing down towards the earth and the right leg is going to come in and that's going to be coming, I'm going to be pulling it gently in towards the body. Two simultaneous lines of energy and engage those bandhas and breathe. Beautiful job in releasing that leg. And let's bring those feet together in our butterfly again. Wrapping the hands around the feet and rocking back and forth. A gentle release on the lower back. And coming to center and gently pulling those feet in towards the body and feeling that nice hip opening on both sides. And breathe. Beautiful job. Let's open up the legs. Let's keep the knees bent. The knees are nice and wide, and the hands are wrapped around the outer edges of the feet and gently pulling the feet down, the knees down towards the earth, feeling that beautiful hip opening. We're in baby. Beautiful. And then moving into happy baby, kicking around, having fun, moving the legs, how they feel good. Enjoying moving and kicking and playing in your body. Remember, this is what you did for fun as a baby. And at that time, you were really getting used to the idea that you had legs. You just discovered them. And so we're rediscovering them. We often forget to really feel into these legs and notice the sensations. Really realize we have these legs. And enjoy moving and stretching. Beautiful. We're going to release the legs. We're going to move into some releases in our savasana. Laying flat on the earth with just the knees up, the feet on the floor. And we move into hula, feeling that swiveling of the hips as you feel one hip stretch down towards the heel. The opposite is stretching up towards the armpit. Everything is flat, sacrum's flat on the earth, nothing's lifting up. And then swiveling. The opposite hip is reaching towards the heel. And then one is reaching up towards the armpit, and just feel that nice swivel. Find your gentle pace, taking your time, keeping the breath flowing. Fully present to this inner aliveness, this pratyahara. This inner presence. Coming back to center, moving into hip pointers. So we're gonna lift up and point one hip at a time. So one butt cheek is gonna come up off the earth. The other one's rooted in and grounded as our foundation. Feel a nice gentle lift, a little bit of a twist, pointing one hip at a time. And breathe. One more time on either side, both sides. And coming back to center. Let's move into a little cat-cow. And sometimes when you're in your cat, you can even lift those hips a little bit if you want. In your cow, feeling that lumbar spine arch right off the back. Feel that back bend. Cow. Your cat, feel the small of the back, that lumbar spine just pressing into the earth. Or you can lift it up a little bit. Rising. And coming back to center. Let's keep those knees up, but let's walk the feet the wide edge of the mat. And then let's drop one knee at a time into the center. Finding your gentle pace. Baby. And coming back to neutral and walking those feet back about together or hip width apart and beginning to windshield wiper the knees side to side or move into your lifting the top knee, flipping over one side, letting the bottom follow. Double knee drop. And one more time on either side. And finding any last movement that you'd like to make before we move into Savasana. Maybe bring the knees up to the chest or stretching and getting ready for Savasana. You might want to put some socks on. You might want a blanket or an eye pillow. Finding a way to take good care of yourself. Resting on your back, Savasana pose. Feeling that earth supporting your entire body. Taking a moment before we move into our silence, withdrawing from all the external environmental stimulation, sounds, smells, sights, whatever it might be that's happening around you, all that external busyness, the responsibilities, the to-do list, the worries, the concerns, everything, letting it go and diving your awareness into this inner being, basking in this inner nectar, pratyahara. And we'll rest in silent stillness as we bask in the nectar, basking in pratyahara. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Stretch out the body, the arms, the legs. I'm sorry, Xander, I'm going to have to move you in a minute. Rolling over to one side or the other. Taking a breath here as you notice what it feels like to be on your side. Noticing the energy shifting, the physical organs shifting. And when you're ready, coming up to a seated position. Move the Xander. Sorry, baby. Hate to disturb him, but so taking this moment now again to check in the breath in the belly, check in on the physical level, asana, anamaya kosha. Noticing any shifts, any openness in the body that you a little more open, hopefully. And checking in on the energetic level. And diving into pratyahara now. Bring your awareness inside the body. Noticing maybe the heart beating, any energy moving or pulsing in your body. And bring yourself back to that intention that you set at the beginning of practice. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. We close with the Namaste prayer. Bring your hands in Anjali Mudra by the heart, palms together. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Grace with Ecstatic Yoga. I wish you a most beautiful and most blessed day. Sorry, Sandra. Again. That didn't mean